Hello and welcome to this month's workout demo of the month. This month we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be introducing you to foam rolling. And so foam rolling is, there's a couple different ways to do it, but it is a form of myofascial release. So that's a fancy way of saying it helps you massage yourself. But foam rolling's been known to help with decreasing muscle soreness after exercise, and also can really help with increasing your range of motion and decreasing muscle tightness. So really helpful, included along with stretching, just to help with recovery. But we'll go ahead and get started. So you can foam roll most parts of your body. I'll start out showing you using this foam roller. There's a couple different types you can get. So this is kind of in the middle between really soft and really hard. There's some softer ones that might be more that's better fitted for you if you have more muscle tightness. And there you can get all the way up to like a PVC pipe. You can also use tennis balls or lacrosse balls or things like that to help with rolling out. And I'll show you some of that later using a chair and just a little lacrosse ball. So getting started, one of the tightest parts of our body is usually our legs and our glutes. So we want to try to roll those out. So you want to place your foam roller down and you want to have a stable surface. So use as many parts of your body to kind of keep you stable, and you want to go up and down that whole entire muscle. And stay mainly on the right part of your butt right now. And they have longer ones, so you can use it on your entire butt at the same time. But going all the way up and down, and you want to even get onto the side of your butt, just to get all the way up towards that lower back and roll it out. As you do this, you should feel there's probably some parts that are tight. So just keep rolling over those. Be pretty gentle. If you need to, try to use your body weight to help pull yourself up some. You can also go onto your quads. So we'll go, quads are on the front here, so we're gonna go all the way up from our hip down to right above our knees. And you just go up and down. If you need to apply more pressure, you can always put one foot on top of the other and come up and down. Hamstrings are always a big tight spot for a lot of people too. That one is another easy one to do. You're gonna just stick the foam roller underneath, kind of underneath your knees, and we're gonna go all the way up into our butt and then come back down. And again, if you need to put more tension on it, put one foot on top of the other, come up and then down. The IT band is a band of tissue that goes from your hip all the way down to just attaches right underneath your knee. It's a pretty common area to be tight as well. A lot of people, you're either standing a lot or sitting a lot, and we bend at our hips, we use our hips a lot. And so this is part of that hip a little bit there. So we're gonna go onto our side and be very tender on this one, because this one usually does hurt more. So if you need to, you can kind of use this front leg to help bring some of the pressure off of it. And if you're doing your right leg, put your left foot in front of you and then come up and go all the way back down the muscle, all the way up into the hip and get into there. And it might roll around on you a little bit, just readjust and that's fine. So next we have our calves. If we continue to work down our body, we're gonna do our calf muscles. Our calf can be kind of tricky because we have the main gastrocnemius, which is the big belly of the calf up here. Then we have down here, we get into our soleus and some other tendons. And so we need to get the back of the calf, but we also need to get both sides. So we want to put the foam roller right there. And we're gonna go right on top of the calf, all the way down towards into our heel, and then up into our knee again. But then we also wanna rotate our calf to the side, so we can get inside the calf. get that inner part, and then you can also get the outer part by going to, again, the outside of the calf. So I will show you on my left leg. You want the outer part just going in and out. And again, you can put more pressure on it by putting the other leg on top, or you can help relieve some of that pressure just by using your back leg and controlling the amount of pressure going onto that. If you haven't been able to tell by now, there's a lot of holding yourself up, which can have a lot of core muscle strength and with it. So this can be a good way to help work your core as well as rolling out some of your muscles. Next, we're going to do inner thigh. And so this one's a little trickier. You need to make a figure 4 with your body. So you're going to lay on your stomach, and I am just going to put my right leg on here and make a 4 with my body. And go all the way up into my hip and then come back all the way. Making sure I get all of that inner thigh. That tends to be another area that's pretty sensitive for people. So I'm gently doing that, but I'm really trying to roll those muscles out. Next, we have the back muscles. So a lot of people complain about back pain, and the legs are gonna help with some of that back pain, but we can also get all the way up into our back muscle. And so you're just gonna put the foam roller underneath you and then come all the way up into close to the neck and all the way back down. You can focus on specific areas as need be. This one's a little trickier just because the foam roller tends to move more, but you can put the foam roller parallel to your body, so long ways against your back. And as you lay on it, just kind of hold it in place and go side to side. And then sometimes for our upper back, it can be a little bit trickier to get. So we can put the foam roller right between our shoulder blades. And we're just gonna lay down and kind of hold it there. And put your arms into a praying position. Try to keep your arms as close to as possible together. I do not have very good shoulder flexibility, so this is hard for me. But putting your arms, trying to have your arms touch all the way down to your elbows, and then just leaning back until your head gets close to the floor. And trying to touch the ground with your hands. So that's another good way to help gradually increase that range of motion. Next, we're going to kind of look at some different things that you can do using just a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball. Some of this might be hard if you don't have a foam roller. They're pretty cheap online typically, but you can also use a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball just as well and have that at your desk. So those tend to be easier ways, especially if you're working on your legs. So with any type of foam rolling, you want to do it in a way that's going to provide some tension and a good sort of pain as far as just stretching things, but not to the point where you're about to hurt yourself or you're feeling like you're in pain. And same thing with using a ball. So you can use a tennis ball just because it's a little softer and it's not going to provide so much tension that it's going to be super painful for you. But you can also use a lacrosse ball to get a little bit more tension, or a baseball, really whatever works. Lacrosse balls tend to be a little bit smoother than baseballs, so I like using them a little bit better for that reason. This is known as a peanut, which we'll get to, but it's 2 lacrosse balls taped together. So we'll look at this in a minute. So if we take the lacrosse ball, you can actually stick it underneath your hamstring. So you want to move it around in different spots. Your hamstring has 3 muscles that go along the back of your leg. So you want to find an area where you feel like it's a little tighter, and then you can just lift your leg up and down. And then move it around, maybe towards the front of your thigh, and then all the way back into your glute. And there's actually 3 muscles that actually make up our glute as well, are a major part of our glute. We have the glute maximus, which most of us are familiar with, and then there's the glute med and the glute min. And so there's a lot of area back here. It is one of the bigger areas of muscle in our body, which is really helpful for us to stand, to walk, to do everything that we do, even sitting. But we want to stick the lacrosse ball underneath there, or tennis ball, and we want to roll it around. There's gonna probably be some areas where you're a little bit tighter, and you can just kind of sit there until it feels like it's starting to release. And you can do the same thing on the other side of your leg as well. Make sure you're hitting all of those areas. Now with the peanut, we want to put this strip behind our spine, but we want to put this little gap between the balls, between our spine, because we don't want to put pressure directly on our spine. That's not going to be good for our body. We want to protect our bones and we want to protect our spine. But what we're going to do is just take the peanut and lean against the wall, and you can roll up and down, and it'll help loosen up some of those muscles directly on either side of the spine. You can also kind of swim your arms up and down to help loosen up that spine area. Like we talked about last month, it is easier if you roll out after you've already warmed up your body, but you can do it at any point. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Exercise Demo of the Month. We'll return to workouts again next month, but I look forward to seeing you all next month.